Myself Arthur Clive, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Akshaya College of Engineering and Technology. So in this video we are going to see about drive shaft assemble. So drive shaft assemble components. So what are the components present in the drive shaft? That is the slip yoke, drive shaft, universal joint, rear yoke. So these are all some of the parts or components plus present in the drive shaft. So drive shaft assemble components, that is the slip yoke. So it connects the transmission output shaft to front universal joint. Next one is the drive shaft. So drive shaft is the hollow metal tube which transfer turning power from front universal joint to the rear universal joint. So it consists of the two universal joint. So one is located on the front side and other one is located on the rear side of the drive shaft. So this is uses of the drive shaft. Next, rear universal joint. So there is the flex joint connecting drive shaft to rear yoke. So rear yoke, that is holds which it holds rear universal joint and transfer torque to gears in rear axle assemble and differential. So these are some of the components which are used in the drive shaft. So here we can see the drive shaft assemble. So this is the drive shaft assemble. So we can see the slip yoke, transmission. So this is the drive shaft. So we can identify the drive shaft which is connected at the front universal joint. So these two slip yoke and drive shafts are connected with the help of the universal joint. So this is located on the front side of the drive shaft. So it is known as the front universal joint. Okay. So there is the other universal joint which is located on the rear side. So here we can see that rear universal joint. Okay, here also the yoke, this is the yoke. So this is the rear axle assemble. This is the rear axle assemble or the differential. Okay, so this is the transmission, slip yoke, drive shaft, front universal joint, rear universal joint and rear axle assemble. So this is the assemble of the drive shaft. So what are the functions? What are the functions of the drive shaft assemble? So it sends turning power from transmission to rear axle assemble. Okay, it allows the vertical movement of the rear axle assemble. So it provides sliding action to adjust for changes in the drive line length. So it provides smooth power transfer. Okay. Next, transmission output shafts. How it operate? Okay, transmission output shaft turns slip yoke. So slip yoke then turns from universal joint, drive shaft, rear universal joint and rear yoke on differential. So differential contains gears that transfer power to the rear drive axles. So axle rotate the wheels. So this is the operations. So this is the operations of the drive shaft. So here what will happen in this diagram, it shows the transmission output shaft turns slip yoke. What is C slip yoke above next to that slip yoke, that is the front universal joint. So what will happen, slip yoke then turns from universal joint. So if it is rotated, so what will happen, the universal joint also will rotate. So next, drive shaft. So when the universal joint rotate, what will happen, the drive shaft also will rotate. So it will transfers the motion to the rear universal joint. Okay, when the drive shaft you rotate, what will happen, the rear universal joint is also rotate. Okay, next it passes the power to the differential, that is the rear axle assemble. So it will passes to the differential. So inside the differential there are many gears, it contains many gears. So it passes the transmission and what will happen, finally it axis of the wheels will rotate. So this is the uses and constructions and working of the drive shaft assembled. Okay, we can see the next topic in next video.